Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna. For those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. In today's video, I'll be doing a flip through and review of Downey's World Fairy Tales, and if that is of interest to you, please stay tuned. Okay, so I did order this from Amazon Japan. If I follow the timeline correctly, this originally came out in 2019, 2020, but then went out of print. And so a Japanese publishing company has reprinted this, but for the Japanese market. This little strip came on it. I won't be keeping that. And like I like to do with my books, I do put where I purchased it and when, although I didn't realize that was on here, so I think I'll put that away for my junk journal. And so I'll just be going through this here, and I've already looked through it, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's been something that's been on my radar, but it has been difficult to source, and there have been some counterfeit versions out there, and so I wanted to make sure that I bought it from a reputable place. So I will link this below. Sometimes it can be a little unwieldy to purchase things from Amazon Japan, but if you're interested, you can go ahead and click on the link. It is not an affiliate. I'm not sponsored, but it just makes it easier if you guys are interested in this. So it does look like this. I never take the dust jacket off. And so I don't know that I would have known that it looks like this. Otherwise, I always keep my dust jackets on. So we're gonna go in. It looks like it's a glue bound book, so you might have to break the spine a little bit. It goes into this, all Japanese. I don't feel the need to translate it. It has a gallery of the completed pictures by the artist. I'm assuming this is the color palette. If you look at the gallery, the colors seem to be very primary in nature, and so I guess these are the colors that were used to get those finishes. I don't know that I'll be following along with the exact same finishes. Some of them, like Snow White, to me means certain colors. Red Riding Hood means certain colors, but I don't know if it's going to be as primary as this. But I do like that they do have sort of a color palette on here. It is not a color by number, however. The pages are fairly thick. And then it goes right into the coloring pages. Now it's interesting because it is perforated. Well, no, it's not perforated. I don't feel any cut marks, but it looks like if you wanted to, you could cut these pictures out. It does have the completed image on the side there, but not all of the titles are in English. I thought that was interesting, and I don't care if titles are in English or not, because I'm here for the coloring page. I'm not here necessarily for the text, but I did want to show you a comparison by way of size for this book. So this is a Creative Haven book. This is 8.5 by 11. As you can see, this is smaller. If you compare it to one of Opal's regular size book, not the artist edition, as you can see, it's just slightly taller at the top, but it is about the same width. So it is a smaller book than what you would typically see by way of Creative Haven or Jade Summer or things like that, but it is slightly bigger than an Opal book, just so that you get an idea of the size. And then if you look at the thickness of it, there are definitely a lot more pages in an Opal book than there is in this one. And I like that the way that the pictures are made, that it is all encompassed in here. So you could certainly do a background if you wanted to bring this up, but otherwise all of the art is just right in the center. So this is the Wizard of Oz. Romeo and Juliet. I don't know that I've actually ever seen this in a fairy tale book in any of my other fairy tale books, which I have quite a few. This is Snow White, and as you can see, like I said, it's not all in English. So I think that's German. And then this, of course, is all in Japanese. Hansel and Gretel. The Three Little Pigs. Le Petit Prince. And I love how sketchy these pages look. Now, because it is effectively single-sided, because, you know, that's just what the artwork looks like, you could use alcohol markers in here, but for me, this is probably either going to be a water-based marker type of book, or because the picture is actually quite small, this I think I could definitely handle by way of pencil work, or a combination thereof. I don't know what that says, but I also don't think that's German. And so I'm not aware of what this fairy tale is, but it's a very interesting composition. It definitely looks like something around Christmas time. The Secret Garden. And if you look at the images, they are very detailed, and yet to me, they're very simple too. And the color palette obviously looks beautiful in the very vivid jewel tones that the artist used, but I can see this in pale tones, in dark tones, honestly in goth tones. This is Red Riding Hood, I think, and it's interesting that she's wearing the wolf. Huh, that's an interesting take on it. The Nutcracker and the Mouse King. Pinocchio with Geppetto. Rapunzel. If you can see here, I don't know that I've noticed it in any of the others, but you don't have a defined pupil or iris, but the way that the artist colored it is just one solid color, and I think it makes it look a little moody and a little ethereal. You could certainly add those elements in by way of a pupil and an iris, but I don't know that I would. Anne of Green Gables. Again, not necessarily a fairy tale I've seen in any of my other fairy tale type coloring books. I think this is The Little Mermaid. And it is definitely a little darker, but the actual fairy tale is, so that makes sense. Aladdin. Oh, and that's the genie. Beauty and the Beast. And I like that she's not in yellow. Then, of course, this is not the Disney version of Beauty and the Beast. So she can really be in any color that you want her to be. A Dog of Flanders. I don't know that I've heard of the stories. I don't know that I've ever read the story. Daddy Longlegs. This actually, I think somewhere on Amazon Japan, I think I've also seen it on Book Depository. There's actually a coloring book from the Japanese market about Daddy Longlegs. Again, I don't know that I've ever read this story. There is a movie with Fred Astaire by the same name, but I don't know if it's the same story. The Happy Prince. Again, another fairy tale that I'm not really aware of. So I don't know in what culture this comes from. The Prince and the Pauper. And it's very interesting with the mirror right there. That's pretty. I think this is The Musicians of Bremen. Peter Pan. And that's quite lovely. The artwork that this artist has is absolutely exquisite. They have one that's a little darker, not fairy tale-ish, but just sort of, it's a bit spooky, but not scary. I don't know how to explain it, but I've been looking at that one, but this is the one that I wanted. So I might get that one. I'm not sure. Of the two, and I don't know if there's any more, but of the two, this is the one I definitely wanted. Pippi Longstocking. She's cute. I think this is Thumbelina, the little, I don't know that she's a fairy, but I remember reading the story when I was a little girl, but she's tiny. She can ride on the back of the bird. I think this is the Snow Queen. Again, very beautiful artwork. And just by the colors that the artists use, it definitely seems a more ominous or somber picture than you would necessarily think. Because you can do this all in very pale blues, maybe even some pinks and some silvers, and it would definitely give it a lightness. But because of the colors here, it definitely is darker in scope, the way the artist envisioned it. I believe this is the Ugly Duckling. Again, not something I've seen in any of my fairy tale books that I remember anyway. Now, I don't know what this is because when I was flipping through it, I flipped from the back forward. And so I thought this was the Nutcracker, but I don't think it is. I think there's a story with this little ballerina in a music box. Maybe that's what this is. And I think that might be German, so I'd have to go and translate that. You've got Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I think that's a really cute picture. I believe this is Cinderella. And I don't know what language that is. I'd hazard French, but I'm actually not 100% sure. You've got Alice and Wonderland, and that's the end of it. And so there are 30 unique images in here. So the price for this for me, so shipping from Amazon Japan to Hawaii to include shipping was about $26, and I thought that was well worth it. Again, I will link it below. I don't get anything from it. It's not a referral. It's not an affiliate. But again, it can be a little bit difficult to find books on Amazon Japan. All right, guys, I'd love to know what you guys think of this. I'm hoping I can get into this month in order to just play around with the paper and see what kind of mediums I like to use. Let me know in the comments below what you think. All right, guys, well, that's it for me for now. And as always, aloha.